This is hands down one of the most beautiful resorts that I've been to since I started the channel, and it is certainly worth a look. Hi there, my name is Kevin. This channel came from a love of traveling, a love of the full process and the journey itself. I feature airline trip reports and high-end hotel reviews from all over the world. My reviews aren't sponsored by airlines or hotels, so you can be sure to get my unbiased and honest opinion. Am I an expert? You can decide. Am I fair? Yeah, I am. Let's get into it. Welcome to Koh Samui. If you'd like to know the exact rate that I paid for my stay here, or my next 5 videos in queue, please check out the description below. And here we are at the entrance of the incredible Six Senses Samui, which is part 8 of my current Thailand series. If you'd like to check out my 20 or so other Thailand hotel and resort reviews, feel free to click one of the links above, and of course, save it for after this video. Originally opened in June of 2001, the resort has 67 villas, most of them with their own pool, and was most recently renovated in 2015. I need to start with that because it's kind of hard to believe. This property equally feels as if it was built last year, and like it's been here for 100 years. I'll explain. First of all, we have the reception area where you'll be checked in by your gem, or a guest experience maker, and offered an incredibly refreshing passion fruit mint concoction, served alongside a cold lemongrass scented towel. And then just across the driveway is the activity center where you can organize any off-site activities that you may be interested in. So, the old and new thing. Well, the new part is because of the facilities themselves. They were last renovated 8 years ago, but everything still feels near brand new, in that characteristic Six Senses rustic type of way. The old part, well, it's just so well grown in. You feel like you're an absolute world away from anything else on Earth. And throughout the property, painstaking details are created to ensure that lush jungle vibe is maintained. From the birdhouses that are actually hiding all the cameras, to the extensive use of natural materials in construction. It feels like you're uncovering one of the world's last true hidden secrets. And a lot of that has to do with where we are. Located in the Gulf of Thailand, Koh Samui is a small island, which in its northeast of the island is absolutely covered with resorts of just about every brand you can think of. But as one of the first true resorts on the island, Six Senses has quite the chunk of real estate. Perhaps more importantly though, does anyone else see a velociraptor here? Anyway, the resort takes up this entire peninsula and also includes access to the beach just below it. The resort is laid out in one large loop, and I think the rooms here are pretty incredible, so that's where we're going to head to start this tour. I got very lucky here. I had 2 hideaway villas booked, as in the ones without pools, and on check-in both were upgraded to pool villas. I had no idea why, and to this day still don't know why. I didn't book through IHG, so there was no status attached to the reservation, and I didn't book through a platform that included an upgrade or subject to availability upgrade. But when Six Senses offers you a pool villa upgrade, I advise you to smile, take your key, and keep your mouth shut. In retrospect, I think it may have been something to do with a wedding that was happening on the property that night. Anyway, I was in Hideaway Pool Villa number 46. The entire property is one big hill, so while there's 24/7 buggy service available, to my knowledge, and from what I saw, every villa does have at least a few steps. Flying high from the upgrade aside, this was one of the more impressive first impressions that I've had of a room in quite a long time. Six Senses rooms, the ones that are made in that signature rustic fashion at least, have a very transportive quality to them. If a room like this for a few days doesn't take away all of your stress, well, I don't know how to finish that sentence. Pristine white linens, wood finishings, and paneling galore, and plenty of pops of their signature yellow and green cushions define the space. Despite all of that intentional natural charm inside though, all of your mod cons are also taken care of. The minibar was well stocked with basics. If you wanted any chargeable items, they'd stock them on request to your preferences. The resort is single-use plastic free, and normally they'd offer their own purified still and sparkling water, but for some reason during my stay the sparkling was not available. I just love the sense of space in here. More than anything, the bedroom reminds me of the Naka Island Resort actually, which was originally a Six Senses before their Yao Noi property opened. The bathroom can be closed off to a number of degrees, but when left fully open, really added to the sense of space in the room. Cleanliness was top-notch throughout the room, and the condition of absolutely everything was honestly impressive. This Six Senses was closed throughout much of COVID and just reopened in July of 2022, so you gotta presume that some touch-ups were done then, but you can just tell it's been very well cared for. Plenty of space to spread out your luggage, as well as the always very well stocked Six Senses closets. And there's an outdoor shower in the back of the room, which is truly private from the outside. And just inside is the toilet room with its own view. Finally, towards the front we have the large soaking tub. I've read that adding windows, a lot more windows, was a big part of the renovation in 2015, and I have to say, it was well worth it. The entire villa just feels so open and, as cliche as it sounds, connected with the nature around you. Then we have the incredible outdoor space with some of the most comfortable loungers that exist. The rest I think I'll let speak for itself. Alright, let's head to the pool. I'm not quite sure the exact extent of it, but I've read that this pool was renovated in 2021. As we head up there, a couple of things about Six Senses. So, the first one opened in 1995, and there is surprisingly very little information available about the beginnings of the company, besides the fact that it was created by Sonu Shivdasani, who also founded the Sovena brand of resorts. In 2012, he sold Six Senses to Pegasus Capital, who in turn sold it to IHG, the hotel group that includes Intercontinental and Kimpton among many others, in 2019. There are currently 22 Six Senses open, with a whopping 18 in the pipeline. I'll be honest, that ratio is a little bit concerning. I know IHG wants to expand the brand dramatically, but I just hope that they can do it in a way that maintains what Six Senses was meant to be. So, you already know how much I paid for my stay here, but do you know how much this hotel paid me to publish this video? Around $6,000. No, I'm kidding. Nothing. Not only was Six Senses unaware that I'd be making this video, they have no idea who I am, and that's how I like it. Why? Because content creators are recognized every single day, and suddenly their experience is no longer typical. When I'm making a review video, I don't want special treatment, so I film anonymously. That's more challenging than you'd think though. So that's why every like, comment, and subscription really does help a lot and helps the channel to continue to grow, which keeps the content flowing. Thanks very much for watching today. My Patreon's also linked below. Here we have the stunning pool and the beautiful vistas all around it. If I remember correctly, less than 10 of the villas here don't have their own private pool. And this isn't even the only large public pool, so I assure you, this will never be overcrowded. Alright, so let's talk about who's coming here. I would say that my fourth bullet point, lovers of anything tropical, really is the defining characteristic of travelers here. There are all ages, all dynamics here, but it's those that want to feel like a true tropical escape that are choosing this property. Not to mention that relatively speaking, I repeat, relatively speaking, it's a pretty good value compared to just about any other Six Senses property on Earth, including Yao Noi, their other property in Phuket. Prices in Samui are typically half of Yao Noi, which is their flagship property. Now we're going to check out some dining venues. First up is Dining on the Rocks. Does it look like something's missing? Tables, perhaps? Yeah. So this was closed on my first night here for a wedding, which I'll be honest is becoming a pet peeve of mine. Not the weddings, but unexpected restaurant closures. For a 5-star resort, if one of their primary venues is going to be closed for a night for whatever reason, emails should be sent out to those guests automatically who may be affected. I really can't think of a reason why this wouldn't just be a standard practice. The other venue is the combined drinks by the pool and dining by the pool. Both of them, if you'd believe it, overlook the pool. While Dining on the Rocks is known for its 270-degree views, the views here aren't anything to dismiss, especially at sunset, which conveniently does so right over the pool. Dinner time. Alright, so Dining on the Rocks was closed. Only Dining by the Pool was open, and it was only serving a buffet. I'm sorry, but you can't do that at a resort like this. Anyway, after a few brief chats, they were gracious enough to offer us the a la carte menu, which is what we really wanted. It was extensive and a very good mix of cuisines. Starters included some basics like lab, fish cakes, and chicken satay. All very good and full of flavor as they should be. For the main dishes, they once again ticked the curry, stir-fry, and western boxes very well, and made me a very happy camper since they had my all-time favorite curry on the menu, which is a red duck curry with baby eggplant and longan fruit. Nighttime here is an especially good time to use those buggies, and you'll return to a nicely turned down villa. The next morning, I caught a bit of the sunrise from my villa and then ran down to the beach to film the rest. This is the resort's other pool. Pretty beautiful for Second-Fiddle. They also have a casual restaurant here serving up lunch and drinks throughout the day. The water is calm, the beach is clean, and once everything is set up in the mornings, there are a litany of places to sit and enjoy the day. And I do kinda want some rock-shaped pillows now. Okay, time for a very bustling breakfast. On offer was a full buffet along with a supplemental a la carte menu. I ended up taking a point off here for the amount of fruit flies that were on the fruit. Oddly enough, the only other two times that I've seen the same to this extent was at the Six Senses in Van Bay and the Six Senses in Bali. Perhaps they buy extra sweet fruit? No idea. Also, the coffee service was a bit of a pain. Iced Americanos are a drink that I think every barista in Southeast Asia knows how to make, but mine took 4 tries before it was drinkable. Here's the a la carte menu, which had plenty of tempting options on it. I of course went for the eggs Benedict and the French toast, both of which were very good. Just a few more places to show off, such as the lounge and the game room, which is adjacent to the primary pool, just below the restaurant. I should mention that like all Six Senses properties, well, resorts at least, this one has its own gardens and mini farms as well, with chickens and goats and all of that. Last up, we have the spa and fitness center. The spa is accessed from stairs connecting to the reception area. What I'm able to show you is pretty limited because the number of guests in here were always more than I was expecting. But I can tell you for sure, if you've never had a massage at Six Senses, this is the perfect place to try one out. Service-wise, it was very middle of the road, but in a good way, I mean that. Prior to here, my other two Six Senses experience were opposite ends of the spectrum. Ninh Van Bay was the highest touch service that I've ever had, and frankly, overbearing. Then in Bali, the extent of my interaction with my gem was him driving me to my room at check-in. Nothing more. Here, there's just a good balance. Absolutely anything that you need, you just tell your gem, either by calling them or texting them in the Six Senses app, which they'll help you set up. Service was efficient and thoughtful, but mostly behind the scenes, which I like it to be. Well, that is pretty much that. If you do come here in the future, don't be surprised if you see me here. Not that you know what I look like, but yeah, I'm certainly going to be back. I really do hope that you enjoyed this video today. If you did, please be sure to click that thumbs up button and subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss out on the rest of this Thailand series. I'll see you next time from the Kimpton Kittilai in Samui. Oh, and thanks for watching until the end.